Welcome to Biz Help for You with host Candy Messer. Entrepreneurs like to focus on the big picture, like profitability, success, and a smooth running organization. There always seems to be those little things like taxes, employee compensation, laws, regulations, and more. Now, you can get the answers you need in one place. Join us today as we break it all down for you. Now, here is your host, Candy Messer.
Hello and welcome to Biz Help for You with Candy Messer. Thank you for joining us today. I hope you found the information on last week's show, Cohesion Culture, informative. If you were unable to join us and would like to listen to the show, links can be found on our YouTube and Facebook pages, as well as multiple favorite podcast platforms. If you'd like to receive notifications on when our podcasts have been uploaded, please like and subscribe. If there are topics you'd find beneficial or questions you have, please feel free to reach out to me at media@abandp.com. Now let's learn a little bit about our guests today. Steve and Jaime Geffner are video coaches, video marketing strategists, and an award-winning husband and wife video producing team. They're the creators of Geffner Productions and Video Attraction Lab, where they inspire business owners to step into their greatness and become unstoppable with video to increase their impact and grow their revenue. Geffner Productions offers totally done-for-you professional video production services, do-it-yourself online courses, done-with-you video services where they coach business owners how to film their own videos and then professionally edit the videos for them, and a membership community called Video Attraction Lab, where they support business owners to get into action with video and hold them accountable to doing videos regularly for their business. Before creating Geffner Productions together, Steve and Jaime each got their start in Hollywood, working for shows like Dr. Phil and Frasier. Over the last 13 plus years, they have produced, filmed, and edited over 3,000 online videos for hundreds of business owners for their websites, blogs, social media pages, online courses, live events, and more. Steve and Jaime have been married since 2003, and they live in Orange County, California with their 2-year-old son, Oliver Milo Geffner, baby ONG. So Steve and Jaime, welcome to the show today.
Thank you, Candy. It's exciting to be here.
Thank you so much for having us.
I'm glad to have you back, and I'm excited to share. Of course, I will just say too, I've been in your video attraction lab for about 9 or 10 months now or so, and I know you're about to have a freebie that we'll talk about in here to help people learn about kind of the video and all we're doing. And so I wanted to kind of take some of the information that you teach in there and start talking about that today so people can get an idea of even what you do. But before we get into all the meat of the topic, please tell us just a little bit more about yourself and how you began working with the business owners to teach them how to use video in their businesses.
Absolutely, yeah. So as you mentioned briefly in the intro, we both used to work in TV production in Hollywood. Jaime was a producer on the Dr. Phil show for 5 years and really is a master at helping people craft their content and be comfortable on camera and pulling the best out of them when they show up on camera. And I went to film school at Northwestern University and then worked in TV production on Frasier and a few other sitcoms, more on the technical side. And so we started our business really as a way, because we love video, we love TV, we love film, all that, but as a way to really help entrepreneurs and combine our skill sets in a way that we could really enjoy what we do and help business owners who in this day and age really need to be putting themselves out there on video. And we know it's a topic that maybe isn't on the top of everyone's to-do list.
Or maybe not the top of everyone's priority list.
There you
Let's
go.
say that.
It should be on the to-do list, maybe not the priority list. But so we try to really break down some of those barriers, break through some of the obstacles that are stopping business owners from actually doing it and getting out there, because we know the benefits once they actually do it. And so it's just what we love to do. It's what we're passionate about. And we have some fun too.
Mm-hmm. And I've actually enjoyed being in your program, and I've known you guys actually for quite a long time now and have seen different programs that you've had and the videos that you've produced for other people I know. So I know what you do is amazing. And then when you offered to do it yourself, but like you said, with accountability, I thought, okay, I should get into that and start learning more how to do it. And then, I am doing more with it and do video blogs and things like that too. So I'm putting to practice some of what I've learned. I need to do more of it. But again, I figure there's probably a lot more people out there that are like me that know they should be doing it, maybe are scared to even get involved in starting that whole thing. And then there's so much to know about it. So that's why I thought it'd be great to have you on and kind of go over just some of the things that we learn and how we can apply what we're doing to our businesses and really just get the word out there. So the first thing I just really wanted to ask you about though, really was you talk about in there too, how using video in your business is like dating. So I would love for you to give an overview of how video actually helps you nurture your client relationships.
Yeah, so we believe that it is all about building a relationship with your customers, and that would be the same way that you do when you build a love relationship. So we have this analogy that I'll share with you where we compare having success in a love relationship with having success in your video marketing process. So here it is, as quickly as I can do it. You know, when you're going to be in a love relationship, the first thing you need to do is you need to meet people. People need to know that you're available, that you're single, you're ready to mingle, you're out there in the world looking for a partner, right? So that's phase one of this love journey, is to meet people. Then once you meet some people and you know, oh, this sounds kind of interesting, I like this person, then you move into the dating phase, right? So whoever really stands out the most, you're like, let me get to know them and see if they're a good fit for me. So you're going to learn things about them through that dating process to see if you guys would be a good match long term. Now, once you've dated someone for a while and you say, I found the one, then you have to move into the next phase, which is to ask them to marry you and get them to say yes. And so that's the ask phase of the relationship. And obviously it's really important. It's not just about asking. You need to ask the right person at the right time and they need to say yes to you, right? Because otherwise it's not going to work. And then some people stop there and they're like, okay, I asked and they said yes and I'm getting married, but that's not where it stops. Now you need to maintain that relationship. You need to keep your partner long term. So that's the fourth phase of the love relationship analogy, is to keep that person happy. Make sure they know that you care about them, you're there for them, you're listening to them, that the relationship doesn't break down. Otherwise, you got to start back from scratch all over again, which is a big waste of time and also very heartbreaking. And then once you've kept them for a while, maybe your plan is to grow a family or to grow your network of support around you as a unit. And so then you're moving into that last phase, which is to grow. And so that's the love dating analogy. And what we say is that applies perfectly and exactly to having success in business and especially in video marketing. And so if we just compare it, you know, phase one is people do need to meet your company, and that's brand awareness and differentiation. They need to know that your company exists, and they need to know how you're different than the other people out there that do something similar to your brand. Now, once they know that you exist, then they move into the next phase, which is really the dating phase of your business journey. And that is to bring in leads and nurture those leads over time. So you're going to date your potential customers, and they're going to get to know you and make sure that you have the same values as them and that they think that you can help and serve them and that they see you as an authority and an expert in your field. And then once those people are like, they're trusting you, they've been dating you for a while, now you can ask them for a sale. You know, you can make the right offer at the right time, at the right price to the right customer, and then you'll get them to say yes. So that's the sales and conversion phase, which is phase 3 of the customer journey. Now, it doesn't stop there, just like it doesn't stop in love. Now you want to keep your customers. It is so much easier and less expensive to hang on to an existing customer than it is to start that whole process from scratch and get a brand new customer and go through those first 3 phases again. So phase 4 is client retention and re-engagement. If somebody has fallen off, you know, if they're not using your products and services, they paid for them and they're not using them, and how do you get them re-engaged? And so that's the key part of the business relationship. And then finally, if you're doing good in all those phases and you kept them for a while, now you want to turn all those wonderful customers into brand ambassadors. You want to try to grow your business through referrals and any other things that you can do for growth. So it's not just you as the, you know, you want to be the head cheerleader for your business, but you don't want to be the only cheerleader for your business. You don't want to be the only one talking about your brand. So you want to turn all those customers and fans into brand ambassadors. So it makes it easier for you to continue to grow your company long term. So that's our analogy.
And I think the bottom line with all of that is video. There's a very much a strategic approach to it. We don't just do video for the sake of doing a video. And I think that's what stops a lot of business owners today. They're like, I know I should be doing video, but I don't know what to do. So we really break it down into a very strategic approach and talk about every video you do should fall into one of these 5 phases, and do so with a very specific intention in mind.
Right. And I know I've learned quite a few different types of videos that I probably wouldn't have even thought of. That, I mean, if we have time, we might touch on a couple of them, a little bit later. If not, I'm sure you'll probably talk about that in your challenge that you're going to be talking about later too, that they could participate in. But for sure, I was, thinking there's some that I knew about, but for sure, some of the things you've talked about, I probably don't think I'd ever really thought of, like, oh, right, I can create a video and send it to someone, in a text and say, welcome, I'm glad you're part of my, company now, or thank you for, trusting us to do your bookkeeping, or things like that too. So I think it's great to really have exposure to all those different types of video and how you could use them.
Yeah, and I mean, the goal really is to not add one more thing to your plate and be like, oh, you got to do video now, because people lump it. Oh my gosh, it's this other thing. I don't have time for video. The goal is that you already have specific outcomes that you're trying to reach in your business. You have specific results that you want to achieve. And so what we teach is how to incorporate or integrate video into the things you already have set up, so that you can get better results, you can get better conversions, so that you're using your time more efficiently. So it's not about adding one more thing to your plate. It's about maximizing what you're already doing.
Exactly. So I know so many people now just use their phones to take pictures or video. The quality is a lot better than it used to be. So you don't have to have a little camera or video with, video camera with you anymore. But is that the correct type of equipment we should be using for our business videos? Or would you recommend we invest in something a little bit more professional?
The best kind of equipment to use is the type of equipment that you're actually going to use. So that means if you invest in all kinds of fancy cameras and lights and microphones and you never use it, and it's just sitting in a box in your office, then that doesn't do you any good. And like you mentioned, the phones these days, the iPhones and the Samsungs and the Android phones, like they have really quality cameras in them. We actually just filmed a promo video for our upcoming challenge. And half of it was filmed exclusively with just the iPhone itself. So certainly with the way that technology has evolved, you can certainly use your phones. You can use natural light coming in through your windows if your office or home is set up in the right way. And yes, we talk about certain types of equipment and lights you can use and microphones when you really want to take the quality up to the next level. But when you're just getting started, if you're comfortable using the camera on your phone or your computer, or maybe you do have a more professional camera, whatever's going to get you into action is the right piece of equipment to use.
And it's about learning how to use that piece of equipment in the right way, in a way that's going to get you results. So it's not just about, let me just take out my phone, put it in my hand, hold it, it's all shaky, you're turning it the wrong way. You have to learn the strategies, the very tactical, simple strategies on, getting a tripod, getting lighting right, meaning either using light from a natural window that's coming in or putting up lights like we have here on us, and learning the different things about, well, what do you say in your video? How long do you talk? How do you structure it? There's lots of little tips and tricks and nuances that are going to make it better. But with regards to equipment, like Steve said, you just want to have it, you want to do it. And so if it's going to be a roadblock to you, that I don't want to go buy a fancy camera, then let's remove that roadblock. Let's make it as easy as possible for you to really actually get into action so you can get it done and get the results that video can provide.
Right. Well, and like you said, sometimes if you're out and about too, and you just have it with you, and maybe something comes up that you want to just grab video for whatever reason, and it's not in your office, then at least you have it with you.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
So obviously, once you create the video, you have to have some type of editing before you're going to put it out there. In most cases, I mean, there may be a few where you could just, pop it up on Facebook or something like that, and it's not necessarily having to be a super professional one, but obviously there are things that need to have some type of editing. So what are some tips you have on editing videos for someone who may not be a professional but wants to get into doing some videos for business?
Yeah, editing is something that trips up a lot of people because they feel like it's something's not quite right when I just film it with my phone or computer and then post it. Something's not quite right, and there's a bit of a learning curve to actually editing as well. So there are very simple things you can do at the very, very minimum. If there's any sort of a pause or delay or hesitation at the beginning or the end of your videos, you can crop those out and at least have the bulk of your video be where you're not asking your viewer to take any more time to watch you while you're fixing your shirt and getting centered in the frame correctly, things like that. And then there's more, intermediate techniques where you can actually start to think about maybe adding in some music onto your videos, adding some graphics where you put what we call your bug or your logo into the corner of one of the screen, into one of the lower corners of the screen, so that all of your videos are branded to your company. You can create other in-video graphics and things like that. So there's definitely some advanced and intermediate techniques to get you to take the quality of your videos up to the next level. But it's editing can stop a lot of people, and for that reason, a lot of people even prefer, if you're comfortable with it, just to sometimes go live into Facebook or LinkedIn or on YouTube, so you don't have to worry about editing after the fact. But for the majority of videos that you're putting out where you're trying to attract clients, where you're trying to share information, having some sort of editing where you're including some graphics and music in a very basic way on your videos is an important step. I don't know if there's anything.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on what type of video you're doing, because it's all about being very intentional with types of videos. So there's a point and a reason to go live, right? And when you go live, people do not expect for any editing to be done, because you really kind of can't, unless you're using like a live streaming platform that allows you to make the quality of that live look a lot better and add in some graphics and things like that, which is awesome if you can do that. But for beginners, if you're going to go live, it's partly to avoid having to impress people as much, because they don't expect it to be quality. They expect live is like taking a look at a very candid insider look at what's going on right now, and we know that it's live and anything can happen and there's no editing involved, right? So there's a time and a place to do lives, but there's also a time and a place to do videos that are going to be more succinct, shorter, more to the point. Lives tend to get long, right? Because you're talking off the cuff, and it might be 10 or 15 minutes for something that you could have said in 2, right? If you did an edited video. So there's a time and a place to go live. And I don't think we recommend an approach where you do both. You go live sometimes for things as appropriate, and then most of your videos end up being pre-recorded, because you're trying to make them as succinct as possible, as professional looking as possible. You want people to really be attracted to you and your brand. And that does require having a little bit of creativity and being willing to kind of step up your game beyond what somebody can do mostly when they just go live.
Right. When you were talking too about that, it made me think of the difference between when you have a professional headshot, right? Or when there's like a candid photo of you, right? And so there's a reason to have a professional headshot for certain things, but you could post on your business page at some point, some type of candid shot that you just wanted to share because you were out, checking out the beautiful flowers or whatever. And there's like a time and place for that, right? Same thing with the video. But I do have a question, and I don't know, I really don't do live videos and stuff at this point yet, maybe, at some point, but I've been on some too where, someone's talking and then they're like, oh, hi, Jane, how are you doing? Okay. And then they say like a couple more things. Oh, Steve, I'm glad you joined us. Right. So do you recommend that people actually say like, oh, acknowledge that person, or should they just kind of be sharing the content? Because that's kind of what makes live videos go so long too, is kind of that acknowledging.
Well, that is one of the benefits of going live, and especially if you have people watching live, is to make them feel connected, make them feel like their presence is valuable. You appreciate the fact that they're there with you. So that is actually a really good benefit of going live, is to be able to have people interact. It makes, when things are popular, when other people are watching something, you feel more compelled. Oh, maybe I'll jump on too, because those people are talking, so let me see what's going on. Like, I got to get in on this, right? So I think that's one of the benefits of being live, is to be able to interact, to answer questions, to have people feel special, because the whole point of video is making an emotional connection with people.
Right.
If you're making an emotional connection, it's working, right? Because they feel like you care about them. It's like that relationship analogy, the love analogy. The whole point of that is to make people feel like you get them, you care, you're there, you're gonna help and serve them. So if you have them live, you got a captive audience, like that's huge for you. So it is good to then interact with people when you have them live.
But it's also important to know that, and we don't teach a lot about live video. We really talk more about the pre-recorded type of videos, but it's important to know with live that most of the views that happen with live videos happen after you're not live anymore. There are certainly, depending on how big your audience is, when you go live, people will get notified and people will jump on in the moment. But the overwhelming majority of the views that happen on live videos happen once you've stopped and it's now living on your Facebook page or wherever that live video happens to be. So yes, there's certainly some interaction that happens in the moment, but the majority of it happens after the fact.
In fact, another great strategy for boosting your, your views and getting more out of that video if you go live is if something is doing well, if people are responding to it, to actually put a couple dollars of Facebook advertising behind it. We call that boosting a post, right? Boosting a post. So boost it for $5 more and see if you can get, we've done that before and gotten 3, 4, 5,000 views on a video that would have probably had a couple hundred if we hadn't put a couple dollars into it. So if you do have videos that are doing well, then you wanna maximize that effort.
Okay, that's good to know, because like I said, I haven't really done it much myself. I'm still kind of doing the video blogs or podcasts or things like that too, but I know some people who've done it, and I just didn't know, should you really take the time to acknowledge people, or is it seen, not best practice, so thank you for sharing the tip on that too. I appreciate that. Maybe I'll get the courage to start doing that soon.
We'll get you into action with it, Candy.
Sounds good. So I do want to say too, I actually started editing with just, when I had whatever was on my computer, my work computer, and it's not even supported anymore. And I had to start figuring out something new, because the one that was on this laptop that I have, I was so confused with it. I couldn't figure out, because I was used to like one way, and I was like, I'm going to have to find another one. And then you actually did a presentation on the different things. I actually got a different one than what you had presented on, but it had been recommended by another person, but I checked it out. And I actually have learned a lot in terms of editing now, and things I never knew, vocabulary I never knew, like a bug and a chyron. What was that? So I do have to say I'm learning and applying things I'm learning. I have like tons more to go in terms of even like getting the quality better and, just having more things in the videos. But I do feel that having been in your program for the last, 8, 9, 10 months, however long it's been, I have actually learned a lot about it. So thank you for helping me with that too.
Yeah, and it's all about making progress, right? We try to, some people have a sort of a perfectionism thing where they don't want to do anything because it's not going to be perfect. But the truth is that whenever we learn something new, it takes, you have to be willing to not be perfect long enough to get good at something, right? And so think about a baby. A baby is learning to walk and it falls down a million times before it can walk properly. Exactly. And so it's kind of funny that like as adults, we expect ourselves to be able to, like, the first time we try something new, to be able to do it perfectly, when like if you think about it, it's just not true. Right. And so you have to give yourself time, and you have to allow yourself the space and the grace to go through a process of learning a new skill and getting better and better about it. So the whole point of the club, is about making progress, seeing yourself improve every month, instead of having this goal that you had 5 years ago, oh, I want to do video, and you still haven't done it. Every month make a little bit of progress, so that by the time, you look back and you're like, okay, I've been in this club 9, 10 months and look how far I've come. And it didn't happen all at one time, right? It happened over time, where little by little you learned something that month, and then you tried video, and then the next month it got a little better, and the next month it got a little better. And here you are, and you're so much more empowered than you were 9 or 10 months ago. And that's really what it's all about.
And that progress comes from practice and experience, asking the right questions, being around other people who are doing it as well, so that you can just really, if it's important to you to want to grow in that area or want to learn, then seeking out that information and practicing, because the more you practice, the easier it gets, for sure.
Right. And I do know, by having watched you go through your actual editing process, like I was able to learn like, oh, that's how you do this. And I could apply it to the software that I was using, because the one I used before, I don't even know if it had some of that thing in, that stuff in there or not. I just knew you add this, you add a little music, you could put text. That's all I knew, So it was helpful. But did you actually turn that into one of your mini courses?
We're preparing to, what you're referring to. We did some bonus trainings inside of our video attraction lab, where we really just spent some dig under the hood time doing editing, showing what are the editing techniques, and then actually implementing some of those techniques in some of the editing programs, both programs that you can download to your computer, and there's some online editors as well. But we are planning to actually turn that series into a course for people that want to dig a little bit deeper into it.
But right now it is available for the members of the club, so that they have access to everything that we've done before is available to everybody who joins, so that they have ongoing access to everything.
Yep. Well, I definitely appreciate having that bonus training too, because that did help me be able to do better in my own editing of the videos. And I'm doing more video blogs and everything now too, where before I used to just write my blogs and post them. So I still have written blogs, but I'm doing at least one a week, sometimes 2 a week that are actually videos now too. So
Yes.
I'm getting there.
So
So that's
good.
Awesome.
I'm so proud of you.
yeah, so thank you. So I do want to just touch on, we won't have time to probably talk about all the different types of videos, but if you wanted to maybe touch on where you were talking about that dating, and video is in these different areas, you have like the meet, you're dating and things like that too. Maybe talk about one video for each of those areas that will help the listener really understand, like, what should you be doing if you want to get found? What should you be doing if you want to nurture your relationship?
Okay, yeah. So for phase 1 of the customer journey, the meet phase, the really the best and most high standard video you can do is what we call a brand story video. That's something that we recommend that you do professionally, actually, that tells the story of your company. Who are you? Why do you do what you do? In a way that impresses people, gets their attention, makes them want to continue throughout all phases of the customer journey. If you're doing it completely on your own, then we usually substitute what we call a differentiation video, meaning a video that's going to help people understand exactly what you have to know what your company does. That's the same as other people. We're an accounting company, we're a payroll company, whatever the category is, but then talking about what's different about your company and how you provide services or products that are different or better or more unique than other companies out there. So in phase 1, I'd say differentiation video for do it yourself. And then in phase 2,
I was gonna say, do you want to ping pong
sure,
this, or do
sure.
you want to take a lot of? Yeah,
I'll go and then you jump in when
Okay.
you have something. Okay, and then phase 2, which is in the dating process, the main one we recommend there is called content marketing videos. And that's basically a way for you to date your customers by putting out regular content. It's not about selling them anything. You're not making an offer of any kind. That's phase 3. So in phase 2, you're just basically providing information, valuable information for free in an effort to educate them, build rapport, grow that relationship without asking them for anything. So that's phase 2. And then phase 3, which is the ask phase, the most obvious thing to do in the ask phase to help you with video is the sales page video. So having a landing page, a sales page on your website where you're selling a particular offer, and then putting video on that page to help you convert more of your of the people that get to that page. Tell us the stat having to do with the sales page video.
Yeah, the videos on sales pages, those pages will convert up to 80% more of the web traffic than if you do a sales page without a video. And it has to be, the right video with the right message, speaking to the right audience, all of that. But videos with sales page video or pages with sales page videos on them convert at a much, much higher rate, because people will watch a video as opposed to reading all the text that's on the page. And sometimes sales pages get very long. We're all guilty of that. But when you can have a short video that really succinctly describes what it is you're offering and how that person's going to benefit from it, it makes the sales process so much easier. Yeah.
Phase 4?
Phase 4.
You want to do it?
Sure. So phase 4, which is the client retention and re-engagement phase, a really popular one is to do some videos around the customer onboarding process. If once someone becomes a client or customer of yours, if there's 1 or 2 or 3 steps that you want them to take immediately to really get them in action and get them up to speed, you can use video to help that process get going in a really clear and powerful way. And then phase 5, the growth and referrals phase, testimonial videos are a great thing you can do. It's not even something you have to do yourself. You can ask some of your favorite or best clients or customers who you feel really have something valuable to share about their experience of working with your company or buying your products or services. Have them out there speaking on your behalf, so it's not always you having to promote yourself. So that's a quick overview.
Yeah, and we provide like script templates and everything. Like for each type of video that's a DIY video, we do a training and we provide script templates. So exactly, what do you say? How long do you talk? What information do you include? Thinking from the perspective of what the person watching the video needs to hear and understand and know, so that they move further along that journey and you get the result that you want from that video.
Those templates have been helpful for me too. Like I say, if you're just saying, first you're going to introduce yourself, second you're going to talk about this, or third you're going to do, or sometimes you don't mention your name until like the third, point or something, like it just depending on what it is. And so coming from someone who doesn't really know anything really about video, that has
Well,
actually
you
been
know a
helpful for me
lot
too.
now, Candy, a lot more
I
than you
do.
give yourself
I
credit
do.
for.
I was saying, I guess basically I was judging myself from back,
Yeah.
before I joined your program. So those have definitely been helpful. But you mentioned content videos too. And I know you taught us too that there's 2 different types of content videos. So can you touch on each one of those as well?
Yeah, we actually
There's-
did.
there's a
There's
lot.
actually multiple. We actually did
there's a
2
lot.
different content marketing trainings. So we taught 4 different types of content videos. Maybe talk about the most popular ones.
Yeah, there's a few different ways to go about it. A very popular version is to do a like a tips type video where if you've got a topic, a question or a series of questions that you typically always get asked, or you feel people that are in your area with what you teach really need to know, then you can teach some really simple, valuable, quick win takeaway type of tips in answering a question with a few things. Put those videos on your blog, put them on YouTube, put them on social media. But it's about educating people. Again, as Jamie said earlier, you're not asking for a sale in these type of videos. You're just being of service and putting out content and nurturing potential clients so that when they think of your area of expertise, they think about you. So tips type videos is a very popular one.
Another one is blog videos. So people, a lot of people have a blog, like you were saying, you had a written blog where you maybe been publishing an article a week for a couple years, possibly. I don't know how often you put out blogs, but some people already have blogs that they've been writing for so long. There's all that content is there. So one way to do content marketing is just to take every blog post you've ever done, if the content still is, if it's evergreen, it's still relevant, and just turn it into a video. And it doesn't require that much. It's just really, it's already written, right? So all you have to do is put it into video form and bring it to life more than it is on the paper. So that's another really easy style of video that would add so much to somebody's already existing blog. And then having those videos be published on YouTube so that people can find them in searches is really going to help your SEO as well.
That's a good point, because I've been writing blogs. I used to have, originally I think I had 3 times a week. Now I do 2 times a week, and then other things that are posting as well. But I'm still like writing content so that I'll have the words even now on the website. So I'll still have, the blog, but people can read it if they want to. But I've still been writing those out and recording new. I should go back because I've got like 10 years of content.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you don't need to work so hard. Again, it's not about adding one more thing. It's about maximizing what you already have and repurposing. You have all the content.
That's a really good idea.
Yay, we taught you something new.
Thank you. And I actually have another question too, since we were talking about, having the video on your website and it converts 80%, more. How often should that be changed? Obviously it doesn't have to be changed all the time. But do you suggest like an intro video about your company be there for, I don't know, like an about us, maybe like a year or 2, and you update it a couple months? Like, what would you say?
It depends. It depends on what type of video it is, but like, if you're an entrepreneur, a lot of entrepreneurs, I know for us, we're always evolving. So how often we need to update, like, let's say our brand story video or a differentiation video is really going to depend on what's changing in our company, because you always want it to be up to date with whatever's happening. And I know we evolved so fast that like probably after a year, our everything's different.
Especially in the last year, year and a half, we've really shifted everything. But certain videos that are sort of those more evergreen type videos for your website, those may last you for a while, a year or 2, maybe 3 at max, but probably a year to 2 years. But things like your content videos that you're putting out at every, that might be something where you're putting out, they're still going to live on your site for a while, but you may be putting out a new one once a week, once every other week, once a month, something like that. So there's certain videos that you're just constantly putting out. But then other videos that are sort of those more staple evergreen type videos, they're going to live on your site for a while until, as Jamie said, if your messaging is changing, if your offerings are changing, if your audience is changing, anything like that.
And so like when you have like a sales page video or something, that's usually driving traffic to a very specific offer. So the length of time that might stay up is dependent upon how long you have that offer, how long it remains the same as it was when you started. And that's really going sort of more part of like a bigger online marketing funnel where you're attracting new leads and then you're driving them to a specific sales page and then you're asking people to buy something from you. So that's part of a more specific sort of make money strategy. And that might change more frequently than the sort of evergreen ones that live on your website.
And can you just give a few tips to someone that would help them know, like we talked a little bit about lighting and, if you're using your own phone, but can you talk about maybe indoor lighting versus outdoor lighting and how you should position yourself if the sun is out, or just a few tips like that to help someone who's doing video?
Yeah. Yeah, if you don't have lights that video type lights, then using natural light coming in from the window is a great way to give a really pleasing look to your videos. The one thing to remember if you're doing that is you want the light from the window shining on your face, as opposed to having a big bright window behind you. I actually do have a window way back there, but I have video lights in front of me that help brighten me up. But you want the light from the window shining on your face, as opposed to directly from your side or from the back, which is a little difficult depending on the layout of your room and where you have your camera or computer set up, for sure. But that's a big thing. Filming outside, it gives a great look to your videos, but it presents potentially some other problems with noise and rain and heat and cold and all the things that go with being outside, bugs and children screaming and
dogs
cars
barking
going
and
by.
wood tippers and helicopters and planes, trains.
So
We've
if
been
you're
through it all.
if you're in a quiet area or you have a beautiful spot, then filming outside can certainly be okay for maybe short videos. You don't want to do a whole day of filming outside, most likely.
It will take you twice as long if you try to film outside like all day, because you don't realize all the things that come up in the sound and all the other elements that present themselves. So we only recommend filming outside if you're doing like one short video. Like you're like, I just want to go outside and do a really quick tips video, to my group. Like then you can do that. But otherwise I would not recommend like planning a day where you're like, let me just film outside, because there's things that you don't think about that will happen. Or even maybe the sun is too bright. Some people ask us, like some people we used to do a lot of video shooting before COVID, where we would be on, scheduled out on location, and people would call me the day of the shooting. Oh, it's a cloudy day, I'm so bummed. And it's like, no, cloudy days are actually great for filming, because if you're filming outdoors, then the sun can be really, really harsh on your face, and and also just
shadows and
heat and all the things that happen. So cloudy days are great for filming, just so you know. But again, don't plan to do a lot of talking stuff outside, because you won't notice. People have said to me, oh, my house is really quiet. And then we come over and we're filming outside something, and they're like, I never realized how loud it is out here. How many planes fly by, how many buses, the neighbors are loud, there's music playing, somebody's doing construction over there. And
also when we talk about windows and light, a lot of people feel like, oh, I've got these big, beautiful picture windows, I'm going to sit right in front of them so you can see the beautiful view behind me. But when you do that and the camera adjusts itself so that it can see you, the computer or the camera lens isn't quite as adept as our eye at being able to manipulate light and see all of that. So it'll make the background really, really bright behind you. So filming in front of windows can be problematic.
So as you can see in our background, it's just blown out back there. You can't really tell what is behind. So some people will be like, oh, I live on the beach, I have these beautiful picture windows, let me just stand right in front of the window and we'll see the beach. And it's just not true. You have to have a lot more sophisticated understanding of how to film in order to make that look work, or maybe $150,000. When you see commercials and the car commercial that's filmed outside or whatever other TV shows, there's a lot of equipment that goes into making that look good. With, you'll see, if you see behind the scenes pictures, you'll see like big canopies and, lighting reflectors and all kinds of things that cost a lot of money to make it look that good.
Right. Yeah. I've actually been around sometimes where you just happen across where they're filming something, and there's all kinds of equipment out there to make it look good, even though it's outside, the sun is shining, or maybe it's not shining, whatever. But there is a lot of equipment involved in that. So I have one more question in terms of the type of videos, and then we'll probably need to talk about your offer that you want to have. So we'll be getting close to the end of the podcast, but I know testimonials are one of the videos that you recommend that you get. And how would you recommend that we even ask customers for testimonials, and what should we ask them to include in the testimonial so we could use those videos?
A little bit of a loaded question.
There's a lot to that.
There's a lot to it.
I mean, you certainly want to, if you're going to ask people for testimonials, you want to pick people that you think are representative of the typical clients you would normally have. So someone who, whether they fit into the right demographics of your typical client, or they The types of results they've had are representative of the typical types of results that you would have with clients and customers that you've worked with. So you want to pick people that are the right fit that you want out there, and a wide range of people as well.
And also people that you feel that are going to give a good answer, meaning some people like are going to give you a one-word answer when you ask them a question. So you want people who are naturally good talkers, good storytellers, that are able to express themselves well. And so that when you ask them a question, they have something to say, they have an opinion about something. And so we usually ask for more testimonials rather than less, because there's always a few that just don't deliver the way you want them to, and then you just want to have as many as possible.
And in terms of how to prompt and guide them, it's important to give some clear instructions and a couple of clear questions, as opposed to just saying, would you send me a testimonial about your experience working with my company, or tell us about some of the results you've got. People may not know exactly where to go, but when you can give them a couple of specific questions that will help guide them in the direction that you want them to go, it'll make them feel more comfortable, and you'll also get better answers as a result.
Perfect. And one more question kind of around that, because most of the time we're not around the people that are doing testimonials unless it's like you're at an event and someone says, hey, did you love it? You know, can you record a video? So often, and especially with COVID, you know, we weren't even seeing each other in person in just normal times of life or whatever too. But so if someone wants to record a video, and I know when I've tried to send videos to somebody through different means, it's too large, you know, to send. They'll say, oh, you can't text that, you can't share it this way, it's too large. So what do you recommend for anyone who wants to share video to someone else? Do you have any platforms you recommend or methods, you know, to shrink it? Like, what would you tell someone?
Yeah, I think not shrinking it so that the video can still be full quality is certainly the approach you want to take. And if it's too large to text, then the two platforms we typically use when we share large video files with clients back and forth are either Google Drive or Dropbox. Both of those allow you to upload a video file or any files to those platforms, and then you can share links directly from there, and it keeps the video full size. And you know, oftentimes videos are too large to email. Many times they're too large to text if they're on the longer side. So using a platform like Google Drive or Dropbox is just a really simple way. You upload it from your computer or your phone, send the link to the person, and they can download it to their device.
Perfect. Well, I know you're having a free challenge, and I wanted you to be able to talk about that a little bit. So why don't you tell the listeners what you're going to be doing for that challenge?
Yeah, well, we're doing the 5-day Make Your Business Unstoppable with Video Challenge. It starts Monday, June 28th. It will be 5 days. And we're really excited about it. We're going to come to you every day with some awesome training. We're going to get you past any roadblocks that are standing in your way. We're going to help you understand how video actually makes you money. We're going to share some of the biggest mistakes that business owners make when it comes to using video and how to avoid them. What else? What am I leaving out?
I mean, video strategy is another big thing that we really preach, and it's really being clear on what are you creating and why. So we're going to spend a lot of time really helping dig deep in helping you create a strategy of videos for your business that fall into some of those different phases that we've been talking about as well. So it's really designed to just get business owners unstuck, either if they've never done videos because they're either afraid to be on camera, or they don't have the time, or they don't know what to do. Or also there's a lot of business owners that maybe they've dabbled somewhat in video and they just haven't gotten the results they wanted, or they haven't kept up with it. So we're going to get people into action and motivated to actually start using video, because we really believe there is no more powerful thing you can do to market yourself online than to be showing up on video and to get in front of your target clients and to communicate the mission and the vision behind your company, or to educate, all the things that video can do for you. There's no more powerful tool out there. And it's just a matter of helping business owners to see that and get past whatever has been stopping them or keeping them stuck from moving forward.
Yeah, and if you have a big mission or a big vision, you need video. You have to be using video, because there's only so many people that you can reach one-to-one or in person. We live in a virtual world these days, and there's an exponential ability to grow because of that, because you can reach people from anywhere in the world at any time of day. And your videos are like little mini soldiers out there in the world, you know, helping you meet more people. And the whole goal is to connect with them so that they understand and can get something out of what you have to offer. So if you have a big mission or a big vision to share, then it is, you know, you need to be using video. And it's also your responsibility. If you have something amazing, like you cure a disease, or you have a really innovative solution to something that helps people, that changes their lives, that makes the quality of life better for people, it's your responsibility to get out there, stop letting the things that are keeping you stuck, you know, stop staying in that position and get out of your own way and you know, make the commitment to get out there and share it with all the people that you possibly can, the people that you are able to help and serve, because you don't have that vision for no reason. You don't have that mission for no reason. There's a lot of people who don't have that clarity in their life, who just get up every day and go to their job, and, you know, they work for the people who have the big vision. For the person with the vision, then you need to really step up your game, get out there, be willing to put yourself on camera, be willing to learn what you need to learn to push your vision out into the world in a bigger way. And so that's our little pep talk with regards to getting you into action.
And we created a special link for your audience, Candy, so they can go to learn more about the Make Your Business Unstoppable with Video Challenge. It's free to sign up, but you can go to videoattractionlab.com/Candy Messer. And I know we can include the link you said with this recording as well. But it's 5 days. It's going to be a lot of fun, and we're going to be in a community of business owners that are all excited and passionate to learn. And we're just really excited to get it going and keep putting more video out into the world.
And I will just recommend too, for the listeners, I'll just give my little testimonial here too, for just in terms of working with you guys. It's been great. And I know this challenge, you're going to give so much free content that is amazing. So anyone who wants to get started and is scared, I was scared, I'm doing better, you know, I would just say, just check it out. There's no, you know, obligation or anything to being in that challenge, but I'm sure you're going to learn lots of information from them that's going to help you get your videos going. So definitely check out that link. Their challenge that starts, you said, on the 28th.
Yep.
Monday, June 28th. Yes.
Perfect. So thank you, Steve and Jamie, for being guests on my show too, and sharing your expertise on this topic again with me. I really appreciate it.
Awesome.
Thank you so
Thanks
much for having us. It was so much fun.
It was a lot of fun having you and just getting a little bit more. I got a tip even today just by talking to you, right? Oh, Candy, why are you doing this? Go back and get your content. So it was helpful for me too. And I do want to thank the listeners for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this topic and you actually got some of your questions answered on the types of videos to use to grow your business. If you have any additional questions, reach out to the Geffners at any of the links that they do have. Actually, do you want to promote, besides the link for the challenge, you want to give how people can connect with you, whether phone, social media, anything like that?
Sure.
Yeah, you can go to geffnerproductions.com. That's our main website where everything kind of lives. And you can email us, either of us, Jamie@geffnerproductions.com or Steve@geffnerproductions.com. That's probably the fastest way to get in touch with us.
Perfect. So you can check them out with those links. Again, if you want to participate in their free challenge, you can use the link that will be in the description of this show. And would you please share the show information with those you know? I'd appreciate your support. Hope you can join us for next week's topic, running a lean business. And please remember, you can connect with us on Twitter, Facebook, and LinkedIn. And my website is abandp.com. And you can find the podcast posted on multiple favorite podcast platforms, including iHeartRadio and Spotify. Until next time, have a great week.
Thank you for listening to This Help for You. Please join your host, Candy Messer, again next Tuesday. Have a terrific week.